Hey everybody, Michael Snyder, Pacific Northwest Weather Watch. Today is May 19th, and right now we are looking at the infrared satellite imagery. You can see British Columbia, Washington, Oregon, and if you notice here, you'll see some of these clouds coming down in this northwest flow. It's going to kick off some thunderstorm activity maybe across the North Cascades, northeast Washington, Okanagan Highlands, British Columbia, down into Idaho. We could even kick off one here today around the Olympic Mountains or maybe the Kitsap Peninsula, and I'll show you what I mean here in a moment. But you'll also see some more cold air across the Gulf of Alaska. It's eventually going to slide down as we go through this week coming up here. So we've got additional troughs that are going to come down. This one's going to be a chilly one as well. It can be some upper elevation snowfall and maybe some more widespread precipitation with it as well. So if we take a look at what happened yesterday, you can see all the shower activity here. I think this is now updated. Let me just back and forth here. So if we go through yesterday, you'll see that we dealt with the shower activity there across some of the central sound. We did have a few lightning strikes associated with that. And if you look really closely, you can kind of see a little bit of a spin in the atmosphere there. Some convergent zone activity moving across the region. We had some precipitation, some thunderstorms for portions of northeast Washington as well. Then we went into the overnight hours here, and you can see some of the residual showers that went on through overnight and morning hours. And as we go through this morning, you can see a few showers still lingering across some of the foothills, the Cascades up there. But again, as we go through some afternoon heat, we're going to kick off some storms again today, mainly across the northern Cascades and through northeast Washington, British Columbia, Idaho, and through Montana. But you can't rule one out here for western Washington in the Olympics. So if we take a look at Spokane National Weather Service, they're calling attention to it. You see Colville up there, best chances, Republic, Omak, Winthrop, Chelan, and Ritzville is right here. You can't rule out a thunderstorm for Spokane also. So yeah, small hail, heavy downpours, lightning, and this was updated this morning here just recently by the National Weather Service Spokane. And just a heads up here for mariners out on the Washington and Oregon coast here. Actually, all the coastal waters here are going to be dealing with the new wave height systems out there. So heads up for that. You can check it out if you want to know more details about that. I'll probably go over it at some point when we start getting some wave action back here in the Pacific Northwest. So if we take a look at 500 millibars, the European on the left versus the GFS on the right, let's put that into motion. And this is what's going to be kicking off these storms today. That trough is still with us here. Then we get a little bit of a break here, but then we've got this next bowling ball just taking target right here at the Pacific Northwest. This one wants to drop right down across southwest BC into western Washington and swing through. You can see the good model agreement between the European model and the GFS, the global forecast system known as the USA model. And then as we scroll a bit further out, you can see we start to diverge in some of the solutions here as the European wants to throw another trough down across Pacific Northwest, but you can see the GFS has much more broad troughing here across the Intermountain West. So we'll worry about those details as we get a little bit closer. But good model agreement in what is coming here as we go through the early to mid portion of this upcoming week. Another chilly upper level low will be with us. And I mentioned this yesterday. The North American model kind of cuts off its data right here. So if I show you the temperatures at 10,000 feet, you can see the trough that's with us here. That moves on, and then as we start to scroll off in towards the next portion of the week, you can't really see the next lobe of cold air coming. But if you take a look on Western Canada, it does show it. But however, we can look at other models like the European, which just again is showing 10,000 feet. And you can see the lobe over us right now, the cold air moving through. But you can see what I showed you in the infrared satellite imagery across the Gulf of Alaska, moving across southeast Alaska here. And this one will drop down across Pacific Northwest. And that's going to be our next chilly upper level low moving down across the area. Get some thunderstorm potential with that and some more widespread precipitation. So if we take a look at the North American model for today, that's what the Doppler radar may look like here over the next several hours. We go through the afternoon, you can see, again, some showers popping up across the Olympics here, maybe down towards Olympia, southwest Washington, and you can see thunderstorm activity here across northeast Washington as well, some in British Columbia, Idaho, and maybe even the Blue Mountains as we go through this evening. And then as we scroll off in towards the beginning of next week, look at this Monday night and Tuesday, you can see better and more widespread precipitation chances start to roll in here as we go through the day Tuesday. Pretty chilly, almost a winter-like day there on Tuesday, kind of widespread or moderate steady rainfall there for some areas. And then we go to about Tuesday afternoon is what's shown here. And you can see this frontal system potentially if you're bringing some rain to the eastern portions here. So if we look at the high resolution rapid refresh, this goes out 48 hours. And if we take a look at the composite reflectivity or what the Doppler radar may look like, you can see some of these showers across the Olympic Mountains in northeast Washington. And you can see some of these be some little bit of a gully washer here, and some heavy downpours can't rule out with some of this activity. And I may just drop down over here this afternoon to see if this storm develops off the Olympic Mountains here and drops down towards Shelton. We'll see how that goes. I'll have to watch the sky today and see if I want to head out for that. But then as we go on in through the day Monday, you'll see there is going to be some additional showers across northeast Washington, down to Clippy, northeast Oregon, Idaho Panhandle, off into British Columbia, Rocky Mountains, and Montana here as well. And then that next system, you can already see it on its way as we go on in through Tuesday morning. So taking a look at lightning flash density potential on the European model here. This is last night's run. Again, you can see the lightning potential for northeast Washington. It does show a little bit here in some higher terrain in British Columbia, maybe the Cascades, East Slopes, Lake Chelan. Watch out, eyes on the sky today. And then as we go through Monday, you'll notice that threat starts to push off to the east a bit there, and then it'll be out of our hair. And the next system will be rolling in as we go through the mid portion of the week. But initially, there won't be a big thunderstorm threat west of the Cascades, but we'll watch for this upper level low dropping down across the region. It could spawn some thunderstorm threats here as we go on in through Wednesday or Thursday. Now, taking a look at the day 2 outlook here, you can see it does include portions of northeast Washington, Idaho, Montana. This will include British Columbia and Alberta as well. But you can see there's some severe weather out there across the plains. So heads up if you have friends and family across from Kansas, northern Oklahoma here. Pretty good windy scenario rolling in here. Talking about a derecho, and you can kind of see the 45% chance of some severe wind gusts out there. And this could be interesting here. Not looking at much of a tornado threat, but that's a pretty significant severe for wind threat there, which means with any 25-mile, if you select any random point here with any 25-mile radius around that point, you have a 45% chance of getting severe wind gusts here. So this could be damaging. So heads up for that if you have friends and family out there, or if you're out there out and about traveling. Now, taking a look at Portland yesterday, 62 degrees, 8 degrees below average, nowhere near the record high set back in 1963. The record high for today is 91. Not going to get anywhere close to that also, but we did pick up 200ths of an inch for Portland yesterday, so at least it's something there. We're still below average, maybe probably around average here. And we do have the chance to make up some of that here as we go towards the end of the month, so maybe we can wrap things up around average, which is about 2.5 inches of rain for Portland. Seattle average is about 1.8 here, and you can see the observed inches. We did pick up 24 hundredths of an inch of rain, so we are just now over half an inch so far for the month, but we got some work to do. But we do have some more troughing coming down. Look at that high temperature yesterday for Seattle, only 58 degrees. It's 9 degrees below average. And look at this low temperature here back in 2003 of 37. It can still get a little bit chilly here during the month of May. Taking a look at Seattle, Tacoma, you can see we bounce back a little bit Monday, and then that cool upper level trough drops down as we go through Tuesday and Wednesday, and then maybe a bit of a bounce back depending on whether the European or the GFS is right. We saw the European wants to drop an additional trough down as we go through next weekend. Also, the GFS wants to start to warm us up here, so we've got some interesting stuff to watch over the next few days. Looking at the national blend of models, let's take a look at Monday. Not too bad here. We might sneak a nice day out of this, and then you can see the temperatures just crash as we go through Tuesday and Wednesday. Then we start to bounce back a bit here, but again, the national blend of models is kind of showing that trough, kind of keeping things suppressed a little bit here as we go towards the end of the week. So we'll see how that works out. Plenty of time to worry about that. Looking at total precipitation in inches. So here we go as we go through the day today. You can see the thunderstorm activity potentially as we go through this afternoon. And then for tomorrow, that threat is going to be mainly eastern portions, Idaho Panhandle here. And then the next system is going to roll down, and you can see better chances for widespread precipitation. Not painting too much here for some of the basin of eastern Washington, getting rain shadowed a bit, but you can see maybe a half an inch when all is said and done for Seattle. Some additional precip for Portland, better amounts across the higher terrain of the Cascades and British Columbia here. And if that next trough rolls down, we'll just add to that as we go through the month of May. But that's not a bad signal here for some of the Rocky Mountains, also up to Alberta and British Columbia here, as we need this rainfall. The fire season is already ongoing. Taking a look at total snow. So this chilly upper level low as it drops down Tuesday into Wednesday, you can see it does drop some higher elevation snowfall here. We will definitely take it. Whatever Mother Nature wants to throw at us this time of year, you got to be grateful for it. Even a little bit of precipitation for the higher terrain of the Cascades of Oregon as well. So if we take a look at 15-day precipitation anomaly, kind of a mixed bag here, drier down south here, but getting a better signal here across some of BC and Washington, which we really need this precipitation. So hopefully, some of these troughs do move through. 6 to 10-day temperature outlook. You can see the west coast here below normal as we go on in through May 28th. Here's the 6 to 10-day. precipitation outlook and above average signal here across the Pacific Northwest. And again, we'll watch that day by day and see how it goes. But anyway, yeah, eyes on the sky today, especially for across British Columbia or Washington, and watch out for that shower formation across the Olympics. It might even be kind of photogenic here. If we're clearing out a little bit this afternoon, you might be able to see that from a distance. So anyway, yeah, something of fun if you like to watch the weather, as you guys know that I do. So anyway, yeah, we'll continue to watch things roll in here. We'll see if the models start to come into some agreement on the extended forecast, but we've definitely got this system out here. It's going to be dropping down as we go through Tuesday and Wednesday, and it's going to cool things down. So all the mossbacks here across the Pacific Northwest are going to love this system as it rolls in here Tuesday and Wednesday. But anyway, hope you guys are having a good day. Otherwise, get out there and enjoy that Sunday. Maybe catch a sunbreak or two for western portions, and we'll do this again tomorrow, and I will talk to you guys then.